Question number 1. In which aspect do you think it is preferable to perform a digital waxup compared to the conventional waxup?
So in my clinical practice, I am only working digital for so many years now. I know that there are still practitioners in the world that prefer traditional waxup. In traditional waxups, there are some advantages. If you pour a model and then you're going to do a waxup solution on it, the practitioner can then first manipulate that waxup when it gets into the clinic. But on the other hand, you can also do this by adding flow material, so no need to go there anymore. In also printing units, also printers are so precise these days that I don't feel you get more of a precision or more detail by using your hands. My recommendation is always do it digitally, because after you do a digital waxup and you print your model, you are going to be able to integrate that said waxup in your further workflow much more easily than if you do it manually. So I prefer digital workflows always over the traditional workflows.
And Medit CAD app is here to help you to go to digital waxup.
That was such a great revolution for me, because from version to version, as we'll talk about, you have more and more possibilities with Medit ClinicCad. And we also have our great team at Medit that always answers our questions and our needs. So it grows so fast and nice, and it's also free. I don't see any reason not to go there.
Thank you. Okay, so next question. Question number 2. Is there any consideration when designing a crown when I want to do modeless treatment?
Yeah, from my point of view, if you do a modeless workflow, you should never use modeless workflows on new machines you get. So I use a mill for many years now, and I also do printing, but I got my new printer some months ago, and I had some problems until I adjusted the workflow. Every printer has different offsets, different values that you have to use. Also, the mills have this. So until you are prepared to and validated your values, you still have to print your models to check if everything is fine. Once you have found the correct values for your workflow, I would never go to models again. Only reason to do models nowadays for me is if I want to get ceramics on top of zirconia restoration, and the lab would do that. But any other way, I would only work modelless.
So you recommend to go with the model and then move on to modeless later on?
When you see that the crown fits perfectly on the abutment, that the mesial and distal contacts are correct, that the occlusal offset is good, because this is also a problem with milling. Sometimes you have the perfect offset already in the Medit scanning app, but with printing, because surfaces can inflate with the use of isopropylic alcohol, because the support pins can pull on the surface, you have different values of offsets on the occlusal side. So after you have calibrated all these values for your machine, then you are going to be able to always use models.
Okay, thank you. Okay, question number 3. Which of the functions in Medit's ClinicCad app do you find the most useful to use in the clinic?
Well, in the past, I would probably have given a different answer, but right now, these days, my best feature is the tool compensation feature, because I always wanted to be able to also mill my restorations. And now I am able to do it because of this tool compensation you just introduced in the Medit Clinical.
Okay. Okay, so last question. Question number 4. I'm curious about your workflow for restoring a crown to patients on the same day.
We have 2 different ways of doing it. One is the milled version and one is the printed version. In the last month, I switched more and more to printed versions, because on single crowns, the material are already good enough. I use the Sprint Rate Bigo material and some others, and the results are very nice, very aesthetic, and the crowns have on the composite side of things, when I milled composite, because the crown is inert, disc is inert as chemistry goes. On the printer, there are still traces of monomer inside, so they bond much better on teeth than the milled ones. On the milled part of things, we do Emax, so also it's very very interesting and a very good material. And everything nowadays is actually done in around 10 minutes per crown. So after you do your crown, you just pull it off the supports or cut it out of the disc of the puck of Emax, and you just individualize it for a little bit. And actually, in around, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes after you've done the scan, you actually have your done restoration. So it's very fast, very easy. The ROI is very good, and I really love this kind of works where you do the crown in the same day as you get the patient in.
You mean it takes 30 to 40 minutes to restore a single crown after scanning?
After scanning, yeah, it's going to be very fast. If you want to get into it, for example, for printing, I print with the crown kit from Sprint Ray, which is the best printer I've ever used. I print it in around 10 to 12 minutes a crown. I wash it, then I take it off. I wash it in not more than 3 minutes. This is the recommended value from Bigo into EPA settings. And afterwards, I'm just gonna polymerize it. I'm in the cure unit, that is 1 minute and 40 seconds. And then individualizing is not going to take me more than 5 minutes tops. So then everything is done and you just cement that unit. The nice part here is that the anesthetic is not even wearing off at the speed you do everything.
Oh, wow. It was really interesting to hear that how long it really takes, the time and the workflow, everything.
So it's always under an hour from scanning to actually finalizing your cementation, everything. Because if the values are introduced correctly, you're not going to have any problems mesially, distally, occlusally. Everything is just fine. You just put it in with some cement. It actually sometimes takes longer to isolate with a rubber dam than it takes to cement this crown.
Okay. That's all about it for today. So you'll be able to watch this webinar on our YouTube channel and Medit Academy once it's completed. Thank you for being here, Dr. Bogdan.
Thank you so much for having me again, and I hope to see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.